Welcome,
Welcome.
Housewives of True Crime bonus tonight.
It's a thing.
It is a thing. So we had to get on here one more time because we told you on our last Gabby Petito case update that we were going to come back when there was actually something to talk about. And big news today or yesterday if you're watching this, whatever day, but big news on October 20th.
And
is that what day it is?
That's what day it is.
Okay.
11 days to Halloween. I've got a countdown calendar.
Oh my God.
Excuse me. I'm very organized. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was not Dog the Bounty Hunter that found him alive and gave us some answers. So I'm a little pissed about that.
Right.
But what we do know is that they found a backpack, a notebook, and whatever. I mean, they're very quick to say this was Brian Laundrie's shiz.
Yeah. So let's just quickly say the guy that thought he saw him walking down the road the other day, not him.
Was wrong.
Okay.
I
thought he was wrong.
I said I was 95% sure the guy was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to like clarify that
I was wrong.
Just because no, he was wrong.
He was
just
wrong.
Because somebody is riding their bike with a backpack on in a rural area of Florida does not mean they are
okay. But listen, I appreciate eyes open.
Yes,
Everybody's
do too.
watching.
I do too. I agree with you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So let's go back for people if you have been hiding under a rock to talk about who Gabby Petito is and who Brian Laundrie is. Gabby and her boyfriend, they go on this trip in this van. They want to live the van life. Sounds really cool. Trust me, Gretchen kind of did it, but she did it on a boat. It can be stressful. It got really stressful for them. We speculate that Brian possibly was abusive to Gabby.
Not really speculate. I mean, it's pretty much it was reported. Witnesses saw him hitting her on multiple occasions, and they had a interaction with the police. And that's why I think that's the big question. Why is this case getting so much attention when there are so many missing people? And I think it's because of that police video. I think we all connected with her at that moment.
So the police video was on August 12th. This is when they were in Utah in Moab, and the police were called out for a domestic violence disturbance involving them. And the caller said that he had hit Gabby. And so the police pulled over their van to discuss what had happened. Once, and when we first reported, we didn't see the whole video.
Right.
The next day, they released more information where she was really distraught in the back of the car. I mean, it wasn't just like we are having a fight. All couples have a fight. It was heart-wrenching.
It was extra because, Gabby is in that video. She's like, what is she, 21? She's 21 going on 12. She just has a very young energy, and you just want to swoop her up and take her home with you.
Right. She does. She is. I think she would be, if we were her age, we would be friends with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, here is an interesting part of the story. The August 12th, they get pulled over. August 17th, allegedly, Brian flies back to Florida to clear out a storage unit. Have you heard this?
No.
Yeah. I have heard this multiple times, and Daily Mail reports it. And I mean, everything that I've heard is like allegedly, but that's suspect, right? Like, you're like, why would you do that? Then it says he flies back on August 23rd to rejoin Gabby. So he kind of leaves Gabby for a second and then comes back a few days later.
Well, you know what's interesting about that is that would be real tricky because we both have actually been to the random part of the country where Moab has been.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm familiar with that area. You know, it is like southern Utah, Colorado-ish.
Like, are you saying there's
not
no
a lot?
airport?
I'm saying there's not a lot of airports.
No,
so it's real off the beaten path.
This is right, but she makes it to Salt Lake City by August 21st. So that's where he would fly out of. So on August 21st, she talks to her dad on a FaceTime video call, and then he leaves, or he comes back. So I'm assuming they must have went to from Moab to Salt Lake City,
which is like 6 hours. I'm guessing.
It's far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's about 6 hours. I don't know, somewhere around there. I mean, it's not close.
It's not close.
And then she makes a phone call. So he comes back on the 23rd. She makes a phone call to her mom on the 25th and saying now they're in Grand Teton National Park, which is where they found her. And then they get a text from her on August 30th, which they do not think was actually from her, saying no service in Yosemite, which she was not in Yosemite. Yosemite is in California. And it's nowhere close to Grand Teton. It's nowhere close to Salt Lake City.
And she had told her parents that she was going to Yellowstone. So immediately their kind of like Scooby sense went, what?
Yeah. And they kind of thought maybe she meant Yosemite or Yellowstone, which both of us were like, had to have a double take on that also.
True.
But I don't think that, I think Brian sent that. And I also think that he meant to send Yosemite. You know, he meant to kind of throw it off.
Yeah, he was probably just a little scatterbrained after, killing his fiance.
Yes. And then on the 1st, so 2 days later, he shows up to Northport, Florida without Gabby in her van. This is where the parents are supposed to be like, what the F are you doing?
Sweet Gabby Boo. She's been living with them for the past year.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Go
so
get her.
This was not just any old, girlfriend. Like it didn't work out on her trip. He comes back in her van to the house where she has been living without her. And what do they decide to do, Tab?
They go camping.
They decided to go camping
that day. Like, no big deal. Oh, Brian, you're back. We were just about to go camping. Why don't you come with us? No.
Nope. Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
No. That is number one. Like, what the F is going on here?
So then the search for, Gabby's parents plead to the press, the police, everyone, his family, please give us some answers. We want to know what happens. Fast forward, they didn't get those answers, but we did find her remains.
We did. Unfortunately, they confirm on September 21st that the remains that they had found were Gabby's.
Correct. And pretty soon after, the autopsy was released, and we know that she died by strangulation.
Yes.
So then there was this whole thing about his sister, because people are camping outside of the house, and they're, the parents aren't giving any answers. Dog the bounty hunter shows up. He wants answers. America wants answers, everything. And then a few days ago, his sister came forward and said, listen, I don't know where he is. My parents are not speaking to me. I don't know if they had anything to do with it. Which led us to kind of think, obviously they did. Why would they stop talking to their daughter? What did she do?
The whole thing with the parents has been real sketchy.
Yes.
I can understand they're trying to protect their son. I don't know. I mean,
no.
Listen, I can look at it a bunch of different ways, but whatever way of a good human being way, they need to be out there and they need to be supporting Gabby's parents.
So then here we are, like a month later, and finally they decide to assist the police. They decide to assist the police, and what do you know? A day later, we're where we're at with the findings of the backpack and the remains.
So we find the backpack and all this stuff underwater in a swamp, I'm assuming, like swampy grounds.
Yes. And I did hear on the news that this is an area that hasn't been searched before because the Carlton Reserve is so massive. But so clearly, I mean, it was probably pretty unsearchable. But clearly they knew that's where he was, what direction he would have gone.
100% they knew exactly where he was. I don't know how they knew where he was, but they knew where he was. And part of me thinks that maybe they knew they weren't going to find him alive. And that's why they were like, let's get this shit over with. Christmas time is coming up.
They're sick of people camping out in front of their house. They're sick of being the most hated parents in America. And so they say, let's just put an end to this.
Yeah. So I'm shocked. I mean, I told you on our Patreon episode, which aired today, that 100% he wasn't in Florida anymore. I was wrong about that. I mean,
yes, but I think they did have a plan maybe to get him out. I think that's how they kind of knew he was dead. I think they must have equipped him with a burner phone or some kind of money, and they realize he's not using anything, and so they know it didn't work out.
I want to call my FBI friend.
Yeah.
What actually
and so I can't wait to hear. Unfortunately, we don't know any of those details yet, but we're going to, because people want these parents, for what they have put the Petito family through, to be held accountable.
Yeah. Hey, and I called you right away and I was like, he better have left a note. Like,
God, I hope so. I mean, they said he left a notebook.
Well, it better not have drawings in it. It better have words and like, what the heck happened? Give us your side of the story.
Yeah.
You foolish man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, and for Gabby's parents, like it's important for them to kind of know what led up to the point that they're at. I mean, I thought about this today. It's so bananas. You go from July thinking they're just normal kids going to have a grand old time across the world.
I watched her dad's interview with Dr. Phil. I mean, he was so supportive of her. I thought it was great. Like, how you just live through your kids vicariously? You're like, yeah, baby, go see the world, go do it. And then did you see his Instagram post when he went to go pick up her remains? He posts this beautiful picture over a lake and says, I know why you came here.
It's so heartbreaking.
It's so heartbreaking.
Because there's no way you ever want to be him. No. There's no way he ever wanted to be him. And there's no way he ever thought he would be in that position.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
So
I hope the key is in whatever they found.
Me too, man.
Yeah. A lot of people, I see a lot of comments for us that ask, can we start paying this much attention to other missing people? Yeah. Sure. I mean, I think that actually from all of this, I have seen a lot of missing people start to get more attention.
Yeah.
And I hope with the way social media influences all of our lives now that we all will start holding these monsters more accountable and start following more missing person cases.
I know. There was one right after this that we did post about a girl in Florida, actually, and she was found murdered also. And she's not getting the attention that Gabby is.
Yeah.
She is getting some attention, but not this, but it I think missing people do need attention, and especially because I do think there's a possibility that you can find them before they
are gone. Well, I did see a really good piece of advice because all of this has brought up so many people missing in national parks, which I like to visit myself, and reception is balls.
Right.
But what they say is when your phone and when reception is bad, your battery starts to die, right?
Oh, right.
Because it's searching so hard. So what they say to do is change your voicemail to your GPS location.
Oh.
So
Good
if you don't turn up missing, people know the last place you were.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That is a great tip.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Yeah. And also, I think the reason why people connect so much, like I said before, you think about the women we've connected with this year, is like Chris Watts's wife. It's the videos.
Oh my God.
You're a video maker. Yeah, then we get a glimpse of your life and we know you.
Right.
Yeah. So
this is true. All right. Well, we will also keep you posted if there's anything new to that. We will be on YouTube, and we will do bonus episodes on our Housewives of True Crime podcast. If you haven't seen us on Housewives or haven't seen, well, you see us on YouTube, but if you haven't listened to us on Housewives of True Crime, we do have a podcast that you can listen to, and it's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
We also have a YouTube channel.
Well, that's where they're seeing us.
Yeah, well, watch the rest of them.
And we are on Instagram, Housewives of True Crime. We are on Facebook also. And we also have a Patreon if you really like us, and that's patreon.com/Housewives of True Crime. So that's a whop for that. And I cannot wait to see. And I'm just praying he has more information.
I have a note.
Yeah. Okay. Have a note. All right. So clink, clink.
Okay. Clink, clink.